Regarded as one of the top golf courses in the world, the links at Turnberry in Scotland are a challenge on a calm day, but a major obstacle for any player when the wind gets up. The Turnberry Resort is home to the Ailsa course, host venue for the 138th Open Championship. Set on the Clyde coast, Turnberry is half an hour drive south of Glasgow. It's in a region boasting 32 courses, including Royal Troon, another well-known open venue. But Turnberry is considered the true gem. Built at the turn of the century, the course sits on a stretch of sand dunes and rocky crags linked by green fairways. Recently acquired by Leisure Corp, the team behind the exciting new look of the European Tour, the Race to Dubai, Turnberry has long held an important place in world golf.
Turnberry is one of the great icons of golf. And I think you've just got to look at the view behind me to understand that this is just one of the most glorious spots, not only in Scotland, but I think in Europe. It's a hotel that has an amazing history.
And part of the course's amazing history is as host to 3 previous Open Championships. As we hear, there's been plenty of progress on these glorious links since it last hosted an Open.
This is a classic golf course. It's a masterpiece, really, and I don't think anybody wants dramatic changes. But obviously, with modern technology, the ball in particular, guys are now, going back 20, 25 years, a good tee shot was probably 240 yards. But now it's almost 400 yards. And so we've had to put in a few new tees for this year's Open and additional 22 bunkers in the landing areas.
Looking out from the course's most significant landmark, the lighthouse, golf has taken views of the Isle of Arran and the distant shores of Northern Ireland, plus the volcanic rock setting named Ailsa Craig. It's easy to get distracted.
I think the scenic value is probably second to none. It is a true traditional links. There's some of the most fantastic views and obviously very well designed holes.
And the size of that challenge can change daily, depending on the wishes of Mother Nature.
I believe you were here yesterday. We had gale force winds, which was blowing trolleys over. Temperatures probably 10 degrees colder than they are today. And here we are this morning. We're standing on the 6th here, not a breath of wind. Being a popular golf course, it's also a busy golf course with the hotel and our guests. Many international players want to play Turnberry, as I would if I went to America. I want to play Augusta or Pebble Beach. So people's expectations are quite high.
There's no doubt the course will be in pristine condition for the Open. We head out on course now for one of the early challenges. A likely birdie opportunity, the 4th hole.
Although it's a pretty green, when we had the last couple of Opens here, the 2 weakest holes, the holes that showed up more birdies, were the 2 short holes, number 4 and number 11, because they are saucer-shaped, and anywhere within 20 feet of the centre of the green, it grabs the ball in, and these guys are such good putters on good services, they'd probably be disappointed if they walk away with a par.
We move on to the 5th.
Fantastic, beautiful dogleg. It sits there with marvellous views either side, and especially for an Open Championship, it's probably one of the most popular vantage points. And you've got your bunkers on the left, your little pot bunkers, and the bunkers on the right. And you really want to play a little drawy second shot. Otherwise it'll throw the ball off the green into the greenside bunkers.
Skip ahead to the 7th and we see a new challenge awaits pros at this year's Open.
It looks a million miles away, the green, but it actually isn't, because you have an elevated tee, which gives it more beauty. There's a pot bunker on the left-hand side of the dogleg, and I'm sure with the favourable wind, the big boys will try and hit it over there, although it's probably about 295 carry. I say links is all about wind, and the prevailing wind would be a backwind at number 7, and it'll be a comfortable birdie 4 for them. But if the wind is the other way, they'd be very grateful for a 5.
Finishing off the back 9, you enjoy views of the distinct Ailsa Craig.
It's a classic. It's probably one of the most photographed tees probably in Britain. And obviously with the lighthouse in the background, it's just probably our trademark maybe. It's quite a generous fairway, although it's a hogback fairway. The second shot is quite a narrow entrance, and if you miss the green left or right, you'd be well to get up and down in 2.
At the turn, we find one of the course's most recent challenges, and also a welcome reward.
Especially in the winter, a nice bowl of soup or whatever takes your fancy. That's our favourite stop every Sunday morning. And then, after that, you've got a new challenge in Championship tee at the 10. which has just transformed the hole completely. In the previous Opens, the existing tee was fairly straightforward with no fairway bunkering. There we've added 3 bunkers off the tee shot, and it's a dramatic, almost probably I say better now than the 9th tee. I keep on about wind, I'm not saying boring, but again, if it is a backwind, it won't pose a threat to these guys. They can probably fly the bunkers. If there's a headwind, maybe you have to lay up, which will give you a much longer second shot. So it's a risk and reward hole now.
Unbeknown to many, the course also played its part as an airfield during the First World War. The evidence of this history still remains.
This was a training ground for pilots, and a lot of young guys lost their lives here training. Again, going back to the wind factor and turbulence, a lot of crosswinds. And the monument, there's a lot of names on there. New Zealand, Canadian Air Force, as well as British, Australian, so there's a lot of names up there, the young men that didn't make it.
18 may not be your classic finishing hole, but it will certainly pose plenty of challenges.
We've lengthened the tee again, and again you're hitting into a pretty tight dogleg with bunkers on the left and gorse bushes on the right, and there's no pushover. I think walk away with a par there, I think they'll be quite happy.
Just as we were on our stay, we enjoyed our time visiting one of the world's true golfing spectacles. It'll be quite a different feel come Open Week.
Everywhere the big grandstands behind, probably about 13 or 14 greens. There's television towers behind every tee. That's obviously the ropes and post. The tented village is almost like when the circus comes to town. And each year it grows. I mean, we used to have these, what are called cherry picker cameras, which I think the last time there was about 120 feet way up, with massive wheels, 120 feet reach. I think now they're determined they're 250 feet. So everything's got larger and larger.
And so the stage will be set for an unforgettable Open at Turnberry. Who will be this year's champion? Only time will tell. One thing is for sure, it'll be quite a spectacle.